viewers, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. And if you've just found us, welcome to Intuitiview. This is kind of a little an election special, I guess. I'm in my cozy sweater, having kind of a down, not down depressed day, but just kind of a hanging out day. So I thought it might be good to jump on and go through some of the races with you guys and talk about the upcoming couple of days. I first wanted to tell you that I saw this morning, I watched an old Oprah conversation with Eckhart Tolle. It was probably from, I think, maybe 3 years ago. And in it, they were talking about, the state of humanity and are we still on track to awaken and those kinds of things. So I took a few notes and I thought it might be good to just talk about that a little bit. So he was like, absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. Let me just show you, because Luke is there. He was sitting in there's Lucy's old spot. So anyway, so he says absolutely yes. And I wanted to read you a couple of quotes. And I just wanted to just talk to you just for a minute. So one of the quotes that she read out of A New Earth, and if you haven't read it, you should. And we read it in our book club, and it was really, I love that book. I pull it out all the time. It's one of my go-to books for everything. So anyway, but one of the quotes she read was, life will give you whatever experience is most helpful to the evolution of your consciousness, your soul. How do you know this is the experience you need? Because this is the experience you're having at this moment. And when they talked about that, they said, that is for individuals and it's for a collective. So when we have these experiences, nothing is out of place. It's meant to grow us, make us grow, make us expand, make our spirit and our souls evolve. And, his thing is, we are here to kind of fully bring our soul into our spirit, our soul, raise our consciousness and bring it onto the earth, basically. And maneuver less through ego. Okay. And as I was watching, I was remembering a time back in 2004, and Bush had just been reelected, and I was gutted. And I thought, we will never survive this. How will we get through this? Another 4 years of this maniac, we can't do it. And I wanted to show you this because this was exactly how I felt. I went out to the mailbox and we took The Nation magazine. We've always been Democrats in our family, but this was the cover. And if you can see it, it's like a dark kind of gray, stormy, icky, clouds, kind of ominous clouds. And on the bottom, it says 4 more years, right? So this idea of, here, I'll show it again. This idea, it looks all shiny there when I show it, but it's kind of a dark, gloomy picture. And at the bottom, it says 4 more years, right? And that's how everybody felt. That's how everybody felt. And we did go through a lot, right? Because we went through the war and Hurricane Katrina and all these awful things with them lying and whatever. And it seemed like it was just horrible, horrible. And flash forward, right, now. And all of these names that had been in our daily language, Cheney, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, all of the Newt Gingrich and all these people that just became synonymous with these people. You don't hear about them anymore. They're all gone. Either they're dead or they're out of politics. And all of those people, even Nicole Wallace, is on MSNBC on our side fighting for democracy. All of those guys from Lincoln Project, they were huge Bush people, all of them operatives. They're all on our side right now, fighting for democracy. Liz Cheney, if you would have told me I would be on the same side of anything with any Cheney, I would have said, you are absolutely nuts. So it may not look like evolving, but one at a time. Slowly we really are waking up and realizing what's important. Seeing the humanity in each other, that's a big thing, right? Along with this, I also asked my guides about these people. I think about them a lot because they are people. These people who have these crazy ideas. We watched this thing, which I'm not going to watch anymore because it just makes me too upset, where they talk to a bunch of Trump people at these weird rallies and stuff. And they sound like crazy people. And I asked my guides, what is going on with this? What is this? Why won't it stop? And they came back with a really interesting answer. And it was that, they showed me like Fox News, some Fox hosts, and basically said, when you make people fearful and paranoid for years and years, even decades, there comes a time where they break, because people can't stay in that state of fear and that state of paranoia and worry and concern. And I got the feeling that COVID kind of broke some of these people. They couldn't handle anymore. So they're breaking their own people. They're breaking the brains of their own people is basically what it amounted to. And that really is what they're doing. And even they are kind of afraid of these people, right? We've seen that. Kevin McCarthy cowering in his office, Josh Hawley running through the halls. They're scared of these people, right? They've created this monster and they're afraid of it. And then I was asking about, these challenges we're going through. And again, I kind of went back to some Eckhart Tolle, because I think it's truth, basically. And you can see if your soul recognizes it as truth as mine does. But one thing he says is humans don't really change until they are in a state of crisis and or challenge. And I don't know about you, but the biggest, most profound changes and the most rapid growth I've had have been through deaths, have been through crises, whether it was a health crisis or a family member's health crisis. It is through those things that you really grow quickly. The other thing that he said that I thought was relevant right now was talking about, doing something when we feel like we have to do something. And we've talked about this before, but I love the way that he puts it, which is, before you do anything, what is the state of consciousness out of which the doing arises? So where are you personally before you do anything? Where is that doing coming from? What's going on inside? Because that determines the quality of the doing. It is inevitable for consciousness to arise more fully on the planet because the entire evolutionary impulse of the universe is towards consciousness. That is also something we've talked about, that we're all moving in a direction. Eventually everyone will be there, but there is one direction we're moving in. We're not going back. We may stand still for a little while. We may pull back just a tiny bit, but the whole of it, we're moving forward. We're moving into a state of consciousness, into the new earth. If it is delayed, he says, that's okay, because delay can have a more deepening effect ultimately. I'll read that again. Because delays can have a more deepening effect ultimately, right? And then the last thing I wanted to share with you was this. this quote: how you respond to what happens to you is far more important than what happens to you. So the important part is how you respond. It's not what happens, it's how you respond to it. And so with that in mind, I'm gonna do these, go through these races, and we'll talk a little bit afterwards, because if these races, if they cut, I'm going to use my dowsing rods, by the way. I'm going to use my dowsing rods. So we're going to go through these cases, and I will use my own stuff as well, because I'll get more detail with that. But I'm going to use these just for the yes and no, just so you can see it with your own eyes. And then if there are races you're concerned about, or it comes out in a way we don't like, or whatever, then that means let's pull ourselves together and pray, and pray for the people that aren't getting off the couch to get off the couch and go vote. Pray that everything goes smoothly. Pray that, that people are inspired to go vote that maybe didn't think they would. And let's try to move this, okay? Because it's not over till it's over, and no future, as long as because these races, it's millions of people and their free will. So they are very, very hard to predict. When I did the last election, I got 2 states wrong, Texas and Florida. However, even at the time, I said, I feel like they're going to go blue, but there's going to be so much cheating. And I didn't want to say that, but it's the governors that are in charge. That's the problem. So with that in mind, I hope that this will be very, very accurate. But the ones that we don't like, it's not set in stone. So let's shore up the things that we really like, and really send that good energy out there. And the ones that we don't like, let's send that good energy out there and get people out to go and vote, that need to go and vote, so that we get what is best for the country, or what we hope is best for the country. Okay. So I'm going to start with Katie Hobbs and Carrie. Oh, first let me show you. So I'm going to ask the dowsing rod. If you're interested, I do have a class on the dowsing rod, so you can go check it out. Okay, they're going crazy. Okay, so I'm going to ask. They do this. What is yes? Okay. What is no? What is no? Wait, I'm going to lift them up just a little bit so you can see. Okay, so what is no? You have to make sure they're one's just a little bit above the other, because they'll clash otherwise. And then I need a maybe. What is maybe? Or what your maybe or don't know, that kind of thing. Okay, so so to the right this way is don't know, crossed is no, open is yes. And usually that's a big yes. So you may have varying yeses. We'll look at it and see. Okay. All right, so the Arizona governor, Katie Hobbs and Carrie Lake. And I'm going to ask in the positive. So I'm going to ask, will Katie Hobbs win versus Carrie Lake? Will Katie Hobbs win? Okay, so to me, that is a tentative yes. You see how they're kind of just open, and then okay, so they're open, and so it's kind of a tentative yes. So I would say that's a pretty good yes, though. Okay, so they're saying Katie Hobbs. So, and I'm going to write these down, but I would say it's worth praying for, because by myself, I had gotten that it was extremely close, and that it could be Carrie Lake, just because she's so obnoxious. So, but Katie Hobbs is a smart lady. She's a very smart lady. So we'll see how this runs out. But right now they're saying Hobbs. So they are saying Hobbs. So, okay. So Arizona's Secretary of State, and these are races that are critical. This is how I found the list. So we're just going with the critical list. So Arizona's Secretary of State, will Adrian Fontes win? Oh, okay. That's kind of weird. You see how they're out? One's kind of this way, one's kind of that way. Okay, is that a tentative yes? Is that what that is? Okay, so they're doing that, yes. Okay, so that's a tentative yes. Okay, tentative yes. So it seems like these Adrian Fontes will need our prayers, and same with Katie Hobbs, but they look pretty good. Okay, Arizona will Mark Kelly win? Ooh, ooh, big yes for that one. Okay, awesome. Okay, so yeah, Kelly looks good. Okay, so far so good. Okay. Florida Attorney General, apparently that is very important. Well, I mean, these attorney generals and the secretaries of state, right? Will Aramis Ayala win for Florida Attorney General? Tentative, yes. Tentative. So keep that on your list. So it's a tentative yes. Okay. Okay. And let's do ask about Beto O'Rourke just while we're sitting here. So will Beto O'Rourke win? Oh gosh, what's happening? Oh, see, maybe. Okay, so Beto O'Rourke is, and it feels that way. It kind of feels like, so again, prayers to Beto. Okay. Prayers to Beto, but it's not a no. It's not a no, so that's good. Okay, so Georgia Governor Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp. Will Stacey Abrams win in Georgia? Ooh, look at that. Yes. Look at that. So it's very, very tentative. Yeah, see, it's even kind of closing. So I think it's very, very tentative. I've always been very, very about that one. So again, prayers. These things they're doable. They're absolutely doable. So just let's get those prayers out there. Here's what we're gonna have to pray for. Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock. Will Raphael Warnock win the Georgia Senate? Big yes. Well, that's a surprise, kind of. Wow. Okay. So Raphael Warnock, great. Awesome. Okay, good, good. Okay, Ohio State Senate, State Senate. Oh no, Ohio Senate. Tim Ryan. Will Tim Ryan win the Ohio Senate? Good, yes. That's a good yes. All right, so Tim Ryan. That's a good yes. All righty, I'm just kind of writing them down for my own, so I remember. All right, Pennsylvania Governor Doug Mastriano. Will Josh Shapiro win Pennsylvania governor? Very tentative. Look at that. Very tentative. Yes, that Doug Mastriano's a bleh. I can't. He's one of those guys that just like, ugh. Isn't that nice of me? Isn't that spiritual of me? Okay, so Shapiro, very tentative. Yes. So really, let's pray for that guy as well. All these people we need to pray for. Okay, so Pennsylvania Senate. Will John Fetterman win over Mehmet Oz? I kind of shook on that one, so hang on a second. Let me do it again. Will John Fetterman win over Mehmet Oz? That's a good yes. That's surprising. It's so weird though. I'm not sure because this one's, I don't know if it's just because it's hard to go all the way, but we've had a couple like that where it's kind of straight out like this, but that's yes. So John Fetterman. And I'm not feeling so far, I'm not feeling any counter to that. Everything we're getting is pretty much what I've been feeling, especially like the tentative, like, it could kind of go either way, but it feels like pretty good this way. That's what a lot has been feeling. So that's correct. So no, nothing where I'm like, oh, that seems wrong to me or whatever. So that's good. The last one they have is the Wisconsin Senate seat, Barnes versus Ron Johnson. So will Mandela Barnes win the Wisconsin Senate? That's a pretty good yes. That's pretty good. That one I do feel like is going to be really, really close. But yeah, so let me ask just overall, will the Democrats keep the Senate? Okay. And there's 10, kind of, but it said, yeah. Will the Democrats keep the House? Very ten. Ooh. Okay, so one's going all the way out. What does that mean? What does that mean? Is that kind of, is that a maybe? Is that a maybe? That's a maybe. Okay, so maybe the house. Okay, so but we do have a chance, right? It's very, yeah, so we have a chance. So that's not bad. That's kind of what I've been feeling. So that's good. Okay, so I just wanted to do something different, and I think it's fun to be able to see it. So I just thought I would do that today. And it's a tool that I use a lot for myself, for me. And it's very accurate, incredibly accurate. But I hope that you can, you can go through and look at the tentative ones, and we can send out our prayers, love and light, get those people off the couch and go vote if they have not done that. Yeah. And then for the ending here, I thought I would pull a surrender card. Again, for some reason, I felt like tonight doing this video that I needed to do things that you could see with your own eyes. So that it's just not me, and I would tell you if anything felt counter to what I was feeling, because I go by that first. But this is pretty much what I've been feeling. These things that are very, very close. It's like we just need to really, really hunker down and get people to vote, send love and light, send inspiration for people to get up and go vote, that kind of thing. So, but if everybody, and I think that what they're giving us is if everybody does exactly what they're thinking about doing and going to do, this is what it looks like. So hopefully we're in good shape. And I wanted to pull a surrender card for us to get through the next couple of days, so we know kind of what to surrender to or what to surrender. And I always just hold my hands. I think you've seen me do this. I just hold my hands, go over the cards like that. And I usually will feel heat when it's time to stop. Okay. These cards are so weird. They're so weird. They're so incredibly great. I love them. Anyways, but yeah, they're called the Power of Surrender cards, and they're one of my favorites. Yeah. I use the cards, for myself and when I read for my family, because I trust myself, I trust my guides, but with them, I know I can be a little biased. So I just want to make sure. And I usually use cards just for validation. So the card we got is Surrender to Trust, right? Perfect. Surrender to Trust. I love these cards. They're really pretty. So it says, trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. So, yes. And I think I would extend that to, and I feel like when I pulled it out, when it said surrender to trust, I felt like it is surrender. And it's kind of what we were talking about at the beginning, which is surrendering to the idea that we are moving in a direction and that whatever happens is for us to reach that end. This race, lots of races, of course, this is important, right? We have democracy kind of on the line. We have a lot of things happening, but these people, these races, these things, they will come and go. And we will still be moving towards this, a more enlightened consciousness, a new earth, a 5D, reality. So, which I think is more individual and more internal than external. Everything's going to change. It's us who changes it. We change, and then we change the world. So it's going to be individuals, and whatever happens in this race is to that end. So, and we had a lot of people wake up during COVID, we had a lot of people wake up during the Bush years. Like I said, we have all of these Republicans suddenly with us that were never with us before. And suddenly they are, right? Awakenings are happening. And having that trust, oops, where is it? Surrender to trust in ourselves, to be able to move with that, the impulse of the universe, which is consciousness, moving towards consciousness, and surrendering to the trust of spirit and what is best for us as humanity. So I hope this has been uplifting. I hope that it gives you some things to do. And that's why I read that one thing about, make sure you're in a good place before you do. So make sure you're calm and joyful and hopeful, and then send out those prayers and that love and light and energy to those candidates that may have a harder time getting over the finish line. But we can do it. We can do it. We really can. So I hope this was helpful. I always want to just try to be helpful and try to make sure that you guys are in a good space, in a good place as we roll into Tuesday. I will tell you that I am getting that it is going to take a while to get results in some places. There will be some people kicking up dust, getting upset. Before I have seen some violence, some things that, and part of it is just people are breaking. There are people not on our side, on the other side, let's say on our side, their side, but really in that camp they're breaking. They're breaking. They've been told that we, kill babies and drink their blood. They're breaking under this. So you're going to see some odd behavior, I think, and some odd reactions. But and that is why one of the reasons that I brought in that last quote about how you respond to what happens to you is far more important than what happens to you. So always we need to, respond with understanding and with love. And it doesn't mean we have to support or like what they do, or even not put people in prison and stuff, but we have to understand that this is some, people that may have had issues, problems, prejudices, things that were manipulated and twisted and made into something dangerous. So so we need to work together. We will get through this. We will get through this. We will get through this. And then we will talk about it when all is said and done. But keep the faith, surrender to trust, and I'll see you in a few days. All right? Take care.